Hi, I'm Steve Daniel. I'm a professional bass fisherman. I've got the best job in the world. I get paid to go fishing.
If you were watching last week, you saw that the big winner on Lake Okeechobee was Steve Daniel of Clewiston, Florida. Steve Daniel was the only man to win 2 events in the very first year of the tour. He's a unique fisherman, great at teaching other people how to catch big bass. He'll share some thoughts with Jerry McInnes coming up next on Bass Profile.
Everything really interests me in fishing. I really like all aspects of bass fishing, and I'm really an expert at 2 or 3 things. I think that's what you have to do to compete today. You have to be an expert at least 2 or 3 types of bass fishing, and but it's the things that go along with it that I really like. It's being able to work with TV and radio and.
Oh, that could do it.
Let's see if
I believe it will.
1 fish, 2 pounds, 3 ounces.
Man,
The new leader.
What a fight. What a knockdown. Okay, Charlie. You're going to have
8 ounces, 9 ounces.
Just 9 ounces.
Just 9 ounces to
Jeff.
take over the lead.
9 ounces to take over the lead. Hold on.
No fish?
And sometimes, does that mean it?
We have a
There's
champion.
your champion right there, Steve Daniel.
Yes.
Oh, man. What a deal.
1 fish, 2 pounds, 12 ounces.
2 pounds, 12 ounces. There's your champion. One more time. Everyone at home, give it up. Steve Daniel from Clewiston, Florida. Tying the record. Tying the record. Woo!
I think the highlights of my career was the 3rd win on the FLW Tour was absolutely the highlight of my career. Winning the first championship was awful big, but being the first fisherman to win 3 tournaments on the FLW Tour is really big. And my goal this year is to be the first 4-time winner, and I think it's going to be in the near future.
In 1983, Steve Daniels was working for the TVA, the Tennessee Valley Authority, living around the Chattanooga area, and he went to his boss one evening and said, you know what, I'm going to need a little bit more time off. I want to concentrate on my bass fishing. I'm really enjoying this competitive sport. And his boss probably said something like, you're going to have to make a choice. It's either the TVA or your bass fishing, one or the other. So, on that date, let me get it right here too, May 16th, 1983 at 12:01, Steve Daniels officially became a professional bass fisherman. And whether or not that was a good decision, we're going to find out. Well, you know what? It was a good decision. He wouldn't be our guest here on Bass Profiles if it wasn't.
I'm Steve Daniel. I'm 47 years old. I live in Clewiston, Florida on Lake Okeechobee. My wife's name's Debbie. We travel with 2 cats, Madonna and Simba. One thing me and Deb get to do, we get to travel all over the country together. We drive thousands of miles every year, and we get to pull our boats around our trucks and talk to a lot of real nice people. Just gassing up, people come up and look at our boats, and just talking to these people, and getting to do the radio interviews and TV interviews is something that I really, really like to do.
Steve, did I have the dates right there and the time and everything?
I think so. Debbie could tell you exactly if you were right or not, because she kept up with it all these years, but it was real close if it wasn't.
And what did he say? Did he say, hey, it's either us or bass fishing?
Yeah, pretty much. I was getting to the point where I was taking so much time off trying to fish some tournaments that, you know, I was going to have to make a decision, and I knew that. But he did say, you know, I was going to have to work or fish, so it didn't take me long. Debbie said, well, he should have never told you that, because she knew what I was going to do.
But that's got to be that's got to be tough. I mean, at that time, the sport isn't what it is today, and that's even a tough decision today.
Well, that's true, but the craft that I was in, I was a Boilermaker, and I was really good at what I did, and I knew I could go back and do it anytime I wanted to, so I just decided to take a year off and see how things ended up, and luckily I had a good year. My first year, I qualified for the Bassmasters Classic and nearly won it. Yeah, my very first year, and I was the one who caught a limit all 3 days, and I was hooked then. I mean, those big crowds out in Arkansas were incredible.
Was that Pine Bluff?
It's Pine Bluff.
Well, you know, I always like to ask the guys to describe a professional bass fisherman. What's a pro bass fisherman anyway, you know?
Well, it's, you know, professional at any sport is someone who does it, anything for money. You know, it's a vocation actually, and it's kind of, you try to explain it to someone that you fish for a living, and they don't really understand that, because there's so much more than just fishing. There's marketing and working for sponsors. And one of the main things that we can do for our sponsors, probably the biggest thing is wearing the logos at all the events, the Bassmasters on ESPN, the FLW and RLN Network, the TV, radio coverage that we get. Just wearing their logos and talking about their products is a big deal. But getting involved with charity events and special benefits that the radio stations and TV news stations put together at these events is really a big way to help promote our sponsors. I'm going to give it everything I've got. And one thing I did learn about this Kellogg's boat today, this is the best boat you can have in clear water because those fish won't jump. When they get close to the boat, they see that bright yellow, and they go down, and you just keep them on.
They're scared of Tony. They're scared of Tony or the Snap, Crackle, Pop guys.
I'll tell you what, there's something to it, because the fish I've caught have not jumped. I get them close to the boat, they see this big yellow boat, and they go back down, and they stay there.
That keeps it safe. Hey, good job, Steve. We'll talk to you later.
I think the things that I like the most about professional bass fishing is the things other than the fishing. It's getting to work with a lot of people in the towns that we get to visit, the radio stations, the TV stations. I do a lot of their charity work. I help them with their local charities, and that's the thing that helps me be able to do some extra things for my sponsors, because they're the ones that make it possible for me to be there to start with.